Welcome back to my house. I hope everyone's been doing good. Today I'll be reviewing Spider-Man 1. That's right, the Tobeymaguire movie that everyone glazes, which to be honest, they glaze basically all of his movies. But yeah, this is in preparation for Brand New Day. I'll be rewatching all the Spider-Man movies and I'll be making a ranking on my letterbox. So stick around for that on the channel if you're excited for that. Brand New Day looks incredible, so I'm definitely excited for that, especially with the second trailer that they just dropped. And yeah, like I said with last video, these videos are gonna be a bit shorter, so you might get 1 to 2 of these a week. But the big stuff like Supergirl is gonna be for next week, so I'm saving that stuff for later. But straight into the review and then my ranking slash rating of the movie. All right, so going straight into review, no spoiler section, of course. I think this movie is actually pretty solid. I'm just gonna go over some of the positives I have. There's lots of good positives in this movie, to be honest, more than I thought. I thought this movie was a lot worse than I remember. First positive, I love seeing Peter being a nerd and unpopular at school. I think that's great because we don't get to see that in some of the other movies. Which, sorry, I'm gonna try to refrain from mentioning the other movies. I'm just gonna pretend like this is my first time watching it. No comparison unless I'm ranking them. Then I'll start comparing them. But yeah, I think comic accurate Spider-Man, supposed to be a nerd, unpopular at school, and I think this movie does a great job demonstrating that. I always did like Toby's Peter, and yeah, this is a great sign of his Peter. Talking about his Peter, the great power and great responsibility, Uncle Ben's death scene, probably one of my favorite scenes in any of the Spider-Man movies, just in general. It's just such a great, iconic scene, and every time it just gets me as upset and so hard to watch. It's such a peak scene. Definitely probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie. Then we also gotta talk about Green Goblin. Such a great villain in this movie. Such a great peak villain for the first one. William Dafoe, such a great actor. I love the speech Spider-Man and Goblin have. Eventually they'll hate you as a hero. Honestly, his character is just so great. And this William Dafoe's acting is just so great in this movie. It really does carry this movie. Honestly, if someone likes it even more than I do, or gives it a higher rating just because of Willem Dafoe, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, overall, I really did like Peter's character, seeing him, his inner turmoil, just trying to deal with his powers and stuff like that. And Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin was great. There wasn't really any side characters except for MJ, which I guess is probably my biggest complaint about the movie. I do feel like the movie could feel more like a romance movie at times than a superhero movie, which I know sounds kind of crazy because there's other ones like that, like TASM 2, but not gonna compare them yet, at least, but at least TASM 2 has a good romance. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, if it was a stronger romance, I would probably be more positive about it. But since MJ like kisses what 3 or 4 dudes in this movie, and I just did not really care for her character that much. It's just like, I don't know, I just honestly felt like Peter could kind of do better, especially with the amount of times MJ was kissing other dudes and stuff like that. Especially in the beginning, it felt really, especially towards the beginning, it felt really like a romance movie, which, because he didn't have his powers and suits yet, so that makes sense. Yeah, I just wish we got some more superhero stuff. I know what they were trying to do, because for the ending, which my next positive I'll get into, but I just wish the romance was more interesting if you're gonna make that a main selling point of the movie, which is why I'm a bit lower on the movie, to be honest. That, and I also feel like there's a lot of, I guess I would call it fluff in the movie, like scenes that are meant to happen, but I feel like the way, maybe it's just the dialogue, it just feels boring to me. Like, I know this scene needs to happen to progress the movie, but I just did not feel engaged while watching that scene, or they just did not do it in a creative way. It felt like they just kind of did the bare minimum at times, especially towards the beginning and stuff, to progress the plot. Like, most of those scenes I just were not interested in. I hope this gets better with the other ones, because I think I like Spider-Man 2 more, but yeah, there was a lot of fluff. Like, the main good moments, like great power, great responsibility, Goblin, the ending, which I'll get into, like, all these are like the highs of the movie. Everything else is kind of just there for me. It's just really mediocre, and the romance does not help with that at all. And yeah, talking about the ending, I love the ending where he decides not to tell MJ, and to keep her safe, and even though he was trying to go with her for the entire movie, he decides to do the right thing because he's Spider-Man, and I think it's really great. Like, honestly, the ending is probably my favorite thing about the movie, and Uncle Ben's death. Maybe the ending more is probably my favorite thing, but I think it's a great ending, especially with how obsessed Peter was with MJ the entire movie. And I think it's just a really strong ending, which I think would hit even harder if the romance was just good, to be honest. Like, I just was not as invested invested in it, especially MJ's character, which I guess was why they made it feel like a romance movie for that ending to hit even more. I just wish they made the romance way more interesting, and I don't think it's going to get any better because I remember MJ being worse in Spider-Man 2, so hopefully I like Spider-Man 2 more. But yeah, like I said, shorter video. My overall rating for this movie is a 7.5 out of 10. That's a low 7.5, like more like a 7.3 out of 10, I guess. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, or 3.5, I believe. But the romance and just the fluff parts of this movie just really made it drag on for me. And there was some really incredible boring parts where Lee was tempted just to go on my phone, which I try not to do, which I think I did for a couple scenes. But yeah, like I was able to go on my phone and still get the gist of what happened. It was just really boring at times. And no, it's not my attention span to see. It was just super boring, and I knew exactly where it was going to go. But that was very few times. I do hope Spider-Man 2 is a bit better. I think I'll probably have that like an 8 out of 10 because I know there's a lot of good high moments in there, like the train scene and stuff. But yeah, this one just didn't have that much for me. It's just really the ending was just so great. Like if the ending wasn't even that good, it would probably be like a 7 out of 10 for me. Like not even close. Like the ending really does help this and a couple of other high scenes. But yeah, since this is the only Spider-Man project I rewatched so far, it's number 1 on the rankings. So I'm not going to show the letterbox, but future videos I'll be showing the letterbox and ranking them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't know if this is a controversial take because everyone glazes the Tobey movies, but yeah, I just don't think this one's as good as people say. Maybe it's the second one people always hype up about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be reviewing Supergirl next week. That's going to be the big, longer video talking about that. But I'll also try to get Spider-Man 2 and maybe Spider-Man 3 out sometime this week or next week, just throughout the summer. Just try to knock out all those movies before Brand New Day. Yeah, we're getting close to 100 subscribers, so I would appreciate if you drop a like, subscribe, and yeah, support the channel. And I hope you guys all have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next one.